there's video components worked into these systems. So they fill in a form, and then the next page is basically book a call, and it's got some kind of video on there, like a VSL or a video sales letter, or some kind of like next steps video prompting them through a CTA of like, hey, we want to help you do the thing, right? Inside of and knowing that we're going to have video in these different pages of these funnels, we're going to get into a couple of different platforms that I know that you've dabbled in, and we can talk tech a little bit on them. But the first one is Avent, right?
Avent,
yeah. And it's mostly around like webinars. From what I've never used it before. The second one we're going to get into, I've heard of and I've seen, but I've never used this particular one. But it's mostly for like webinars.
Yeah, it is. And it may not, now that we're talking about it, it may not quite apply to the audience that's watching this.
Of course, yeah. I was going to say like webinars aren't a big thing for usually like service business or anything like that. But I
could see though, I'll kind of flip that because, and this is a little bit extrapolation, but like you get the ads for retirement companies that want you to come to a dinner event, right?
Sure.
So there's probably an argument to be made that your higher ticket foundation repair, roofing, AC replacement, where you're like, hey, look, your AC is going to go out. Come, and I don't know what the content would be in a webinar, but you're educating somebody on the fact that it's time to replace their AC before they maybe are waiting until it goes out in the middle of summer. And you get those ads this time of year, right? We're coming into the heat of summer, and it's like, hey, get your system checked. So there may, I don't know if anybody's doing that, but it might even be worth something to explore is trying that because there may be validity to it.
I think there's frontiers for sure that you can put people that have never done the thing before inside of it, and they could probably make it work to some capacity. Right. But it would just be you'd have to understand like what they've been doing in the past and if it's digital, right? And just what's worked, because you really don't want to break the mold if you don't need to.
Right. No, something works, but sometimes trying something new can find opportunity. I passed, where was I the other day? I don't know, somewhere in town the other day and saw a sign that donate $10 to the local animal shelter, whatever it was, when you get your AC inspected. $50 inspection, we give $10 to local animal shelter and things like that. Like it motivates you to go use that company because that $10 are good. Right now, somebody else is offering a $35, then whatever. It's not it's not necessarily worth it, but So definitely try different things.
In particularly this platform, right? Let's say everybody that's watching this could do a webinar, run a webinar funnel. And what is what are the main components of that platform, Avent, to like what's beneficial inside of that for them if they chose to use that platform to run a webinar?
So let's go back to the financial advisor retirement company that's doing the dinner events that we see. Because I think I see those. I'm not even in that category.
Sure.
But that means somebody has to go sit in a restaurant and do a live pitch for 3 hours every Tuesday night at 7:00.
Yep.
Plus the prep time before and after, travel time, whatever. But let's assume it takes them 3 hours to do that. If they could put a VR version of themselves, virtual reality version of themselves doing that, that's what Avent does in the web space. So it's a live Zoom room, and it's just like me talking to, we're on Riverside, recording this, but if we were on Zoom, it looks like I'm live. But the reality is what he has running, because Winter, the guy that runs it, is out in Austin. I've hung out with him. He has basically a room full of laptops that are running Zoom, feeding in this video as my camera. So I have a client that I'm working with right now that has an Amazon BizOp program, and she sells how to make money on Amazon. And instead of her getting on live every few weeks to do a live at 3:00 on Tuesday, we're setting her up so that 3:00 on Tuesday, Zoom room opens up, people filter in, Jenny is kicked back by the pool drinking Mai Tais or whatever she drinks and making money because there's a virtual version of her running a live webinar right now.
Yeah.